What if I told you that the difference between constant financial stress and quiet financial confidence could start with just $25? Not $2,500. Not a six-figure income. Not some complicated investment strategy. Just $25. Before you roll your eyes and click away, hear me out. This is not another "stop buying coffee" lecture. This is not just budget better. This is not advice written for people who already have money. This is for the person who checks their bank account before ordering food. The one who mentally adds up groceries while walking through Walmart. The one who avoids dinner invites because saying, "I can't afford it," again feels humiliating. If that's you, stay with me. Because this simple $25 habit has helped people go from zero savings to thousands of dollars without increasing their income. And more importantly, it changes how you see yourself. By the end of this video, you won't just understand the $25 rule. You'll understand why traditional financial advice fails broke people, and how to rebuild your financial identity from absolute zero. Let's get into it. The hidden crisis no one wants to admit. Let's talk about what's really happening in America right now. Nearly half of young adults are living paycheck to paycheck. That means income comes in and disappears. Rent, gas, groceries, subscriptions, debt payments. Gone. And what makes it worse? It's not just the money. It's the mental exhaustion. It's the constant math in your head. Can I afford this? Will this overdraft? What if something breaks? That stress rewires your brain. Eventually, you stop looking at your account. You avoid it. You tell yourself, "I'll deal with it later." But later becomes months. And debt grows quietly. This isn't a math problem. It's a psychological problem. And most financial advice completely ignores that. Why traditional money advice fails when you're broke? You've heard it before. Just save 20%. Build a 6-month emergency fund. Follow the 50/30/20 rule. Sounds great. Until your income is unpredictable. Millions of Americans now rely on gig work. One week you make $300. The next week you make $1,200. The next week? Who knows? How do you calculate 20% of chaos? You try to automate savings. Then 3 days later you need gas. A forgotten charge hits. You transfer the money back. And suddenly you feel like a failure. You tell yourself, "I'm just bad with money." That story becomes your identity. And identity controls behavior. So instead of building savings, you avoid trying again. That's the trap. Which is why the $25 rule works differently. The $25 rule, simple. But powerful. Here it is. Every time you receive income, any income, you transfer $25 into a separate savings account. That's it. Paycheck? $25. Gig payment? $25. Side hustle payout? $25. Birthday money? $25. You are not calculating percentages. You are not optimizing spreadsheets. You are not overthinking. You are building a reflex. Income equals $25 to savings. Now you might be thinking, $25 won't change my life. You're right. It's not about the amount. It's about rewiring your brain. Why this works when everything else fails. Your brain is overloaded. Bills. Deadlines. Notifications. Stress. When advice feels complicated, your brain rejects it. But $25? Your brain can handle that. It's small enough not to hurt. but big enough to matter. And that balance is everything. Because when something feels doable, you actually do it. Consistency beats intensity. Every single time. Step 1. Open a fresh account. This part is critical. You must open a brand new savings account. It starts at zero. Clean slate. Name it something meaningful. The Freedom Fund. The Vault. Never broke again. Emergency Armor. Why name it? Because naming creates emotional attachment. And emotional attachment builds protection. You don't raid something that represents your future. Step 2. Choose a trigger. Next, define your trigger. For traditional jobs, it's simple: every paycheck. For gig workers, maybe it's every time you earn over a certain amount in a week. Be specific. Vague rules don't build habits. Clear triggers create automatic responses. Step 3. Do not automate it. This part surprises people. Don't automate the transfer. Do it manually. Every time. Why? Because you need to feel it. You need to see the number move. You need to watch your savings grow. That visual reinforcement activates the reward system in your brain. Progress feels good. And when saving feels good, you repeat it. The gamification effect. Here's where it gets interesting. You start at 0. Then 25. Then 50. Then 125. Then 300. Your brain sees progress. Just like leveling up in a game. And once you hit $200, you don't want to go back to 0. You start protecting it. You think twice before spending. Not because someone told you to, but because you don't want to lose your progress. That's psychological leverage. The identity shift. This is the real transformation. When you're broke, your identity says, I can't save. I'm bad with money. I'll always struggle. But after 3 weeks of consistent deposits, the story changes. I save money. I have a savings account. I'm building something. That subtle shift changes behavior. You start looking for extra income opportunities. You pick up an extra shift. You negotiate better. Because now saving feels aligned with who you are. And identity drives action more than motivation ever will. The confidence multiplier. Research shows that people with even a few $100s in savings make better long-term financial decisions. Why? Because stress decreases. When you have 0, everything feels catastrophic. When you have $500, an unexpected expense becomes manageable. That gap, between panic and peace, is life-changing. Not because of the money itself, but because of the emotional stability it creates. And stability creates smarter decisions. What to do when you have to use the money? Let's be realistic. Emergencies will happen. Car repairs. Medical bills. Broken laptop. If you need the money, use it. That's the point. But here's the difference. You won't spiral. You won't panic. You won't rely on a high-interest credit card. And after you use it, you rebuild. And rebuilding is easier because the habit is already there. Each time you rebuild, it gets faster. Stronger. More automatic. Levels of the $25 rule. Think of this in stages. Level 1, build the reflex. Just $25 consistently. Level 2, increase when comfortable. $35. $50. Level 3, reach $2,000 emergency fund. That's when real stress starts dropping. Level 4, 3 months of expenses. Now you have leverage. You can quit toxic jobs. You can negotiate. You can take calculated risks. Freedom grows from small consistent actions, not dramatic overhauls. Stop comparing yourself. One of the fastest ways to kill motivation. Comparison. You saving $300 while someone else posts about $50,000 investments. Ignore that. You're competing with last month's version of yourself. The version with $0 to $300 is not small. It's a transformation. Real stories, real calm. I've seen people build $1,000, $2,000, even $5,000 using this exact rule. And the most common thing they say? It wasn't about the money. It was about how calm I felt. Calm at checkout. Calm when bills arrived. Calm when life happened. That calm is priceless. Because panic is expensive. Why this matters in 2026. We live in uncertain times. Income is unpredictable. Costs are rising. Financial pressure is everywhere. Almost half of young adults can't cover a small emergency. You don't need to be in that statistic. You don't need a massive raise to start. You need a system that builds confidence. And confidence builds wealth. The real outcome. The $25 rule won't make you rich overnight. It won't turn you into a millionaire next month. But it will do something far more important. It will prove to you that you can change your financial reality. It will replace shame with control. Stress with structure. Avoidance with action. And that shift? That's the beginning of everything. Because once you believe you can manage money, you start learning how to grow it. And that's where real freedom begins. Final question. So here's the real question. Not whether this works. It does. The question is, are you willing to try it? Are you willing to move $25 today? Because 5 minutes from now, you could still have $0. Or you could have $25 and a new identity. Your move. If this opened your eyes, subscribe to Freedom Fund Mastery. Every week, we break down practical systems that help everyday Americans build real financial freedom, without hype, without gimmicks, and without unrealistic advice. Start small. Stay consistent. Build freedom. I'll see you in the next one.